cut out. So this set, unlike the other one, is designed to go specifically with a set of stamps. They're not, apart from the flowers, they're not really a great deal of use to you on their own. However, the ones we used this morning you can use entirely on its own. So this one is designed to go with this Sale-A-Bration set called Happy Birthday to You. It features this lovely cake image which you could use for birthdays, obviously, weddings, celebrations, engagement, retirement, that sort of thing. It has a lovely happy birthday image, which has been my favourite one all month. For those of you that come to Coffee and Card know that. It has a to you and the celebrate and then some little dots here. So what we did when we made this at Coffee and Card was a straightforward, sorry, there's some cat hairs here, my cat's been climbing around. Straightforward single layer card, stamp the birthday cake, use the blends pens to colour in, put happy birthday across the top, and we're good to go. So to that you could obviously add some pearls or things in the middle, you could add some gems around the outside, you could add some wink of Stella, a ribbon, that sort of thing. But now with the new dies, what you can do is take it from that version to this version. So completely stepped up version. Obviously my colours are slightly different, but it means you can die cut the cake and the flowers separately or together. You also have a cake stand and some extra bits and pieces. So let me show you the dies themselves, what they cut out. So I'm hoping you can see that okay. So the die set cuts out this really nice cake stand. So that is cut out in plain card, and I'm hoping you can see the detail in there because it does have some embossing as well as the holes. So it cuts out the cake stand. It also has two dies that cut out those two together and those two together, so much bigger and easier to use rather than tiny little dies on their own. And then you can see the two die cuts here, so one cuts out the whole cake and the cake stand, and then one cuts out just the flowers from there. So really versatile. So it does mean you can use the flowers in their own right, whereas really before you could only use it was only ever a birthday card unless you were going to a fussy cut round there, which for those of you that know me, no, I wouldn't do that. So what I'd like to do is show you how I created this one, and I'm also going to make a floral card just using the flowers. So I am going to do a little bit of colouring in, just so that you can see that, but I have stamped the images already just to save a little bit of time, but I am going to die cut them. So I've changed my mind on cards, so I just want something different. So I've got pool party card here, and I've die cut a silver foil cake stand, and then I've stamped two images. So one is going to be my main image, and then one is going to be the flowers that I pop on the top. And I have also die cut ready, just to save some time, some silver of those little buds. I've got some green of the leaves, and I've also got some silver leaves because I haven't quite decided which ones I'm going to use. So I die cut those just to save a little bit of time. So let me show you. So I'm just going to do a quick amount of colouring in to start with, and I've got some blends pens ready. So because I'm going to actually stamp and cut out the flowers on top, on one I'm just going to do the cake, and on the other one I'm just going to do the flowers, okay, because the flowers, as you can see, are actually hidden underneath. If you can see there, that one's plain as well. So doesn't really matter which image. I'm going to cut them both out anyway because I want to lose this bit of the stand. So let me just do the cake. I'll do the cake on this one and the flowers on this one. So I'm going to have, I don't know if I might go blue all over. So the technique that I use is, and you've seen it many times before if you've followed me, is to take the darker colour from the edge and work in, so you're feathering it lightly so it gets lighter as it goes towards the middle. You can do the same on the other side. If I'm doing a lot of this, then I turn it round because I'm right-handed and I find it easier to work left to right. So I hope you can see that. Can you see that okay, everybody? Like so. Same with this one here. And then I'm just going to use the light pen to blend it in. So this is Dark Pool Party. Like so. You do the same on the other side. Now, because these flowers are going to be covered up, you can just go over those and not worry too much. There we go. There's a little bit of a margin around the die cut, so. And then where you've got some given lines, Stampin' Up have added on the image, you can use your dark pen just to highlight that. Like so. So I'm using my Dark Pool Party, and these are the blends pens. Then I'm going to use my Light Pool Party and just go over that, as you're going to use the smaller one. Oh, hi Linda. Nice to see you. Join us. So I'm just using the bullet tip and a circular motion, really. Now Linda should be an expert at colouring in because I know she has a whole stack of blends pens. So she'll be an expert. Actually, she's good at colouring in anyway. So I'm not worrying too much where the flowers are because I know they're going to be covered up. I don't need to do the stand because I'm going to use the cutout stands to go on the top as well. So I'm literally just doing this background here of the cake. Hi Laura, nice to see you again. So just bringing that layer in. So say this is Pool Party. Not sure you get a lot of light blue cakes, but there we go. Like so. So that's going to be my cake background. I'm then going to do the flowers on this one. I can't decide whether to do pink or blue flowers. Oh, hi Anne, nice to see you. I think I'll do pink, just for a change. So I've got my two colours of blend. So I've got light flirty flamingo and dark flirty flamingo. So I'm going to do exactly the same technique with the flowers. I'm going to use my dark first with the bullet tip and just coming out where those markings are. You can do the edges as well, and ideally use that brushing movement so you've got some sort of level of feathering so that your sort of outside edge is thinner. On a small area like this, to be honest, it's not quite as noticeable. So I'm just putting a little bit of colour around the edges, this on there, a bit around here, and then I'm going to go over it with the light flirty flamingo, and then I'm going to add the leaves in. And I'm going to do the little buds in the darker colour as well. go. 2, 3, 4, like so. There we go. So I did a full video of this back in January, I think it was. So you can go back through all the videos on my Facebook Lives. Yes, we are. Thank you, Anne. And I hope the same for you and all the children and grandchildren. So I did a detailed version of this on our Facebook Live. So you can, if you go to my Jemini Crafts page, which is where you are at the moment, if you started here, then click on videos at the top. I've got over a year's worth of videos there from each of my coffee and card, and some extra ones as well. So if you do get bored of an afternoon and you want some ideas, feel free to look back through them, especially for techniques. Obviously, anything that was done before last June, and also any of the Christmas ones, may not be available because I used products that were current at the time of the video. So just so that you're aware, if you're looking for something and then discover you can't order it. So this stamp set is free with an order of £45 or more. So if you ordered this die cut set and the dies from this morning, you could have this birthday stamp for free because it's one of the celebration items. Right, have I done all my, nearly done all of my pink pieces there. Just whiz a little bit on for the leaves. I'm not going to do these in detail, but if I was doing this as a card ready to send, I'd add in the dark bit on the leaves as well. So what I tend to do if I'm doing a demonstration like this online is I'll go back afterwards. Oh yeah, the videos can help and give you ideas and things like that. Thank you, Baz. But yes, I'll go back and add some darker green in and blend that in a little bit better, because you don't want to sit here and watch me colour all day, I'm sure. So just going to do that. I just thought for a minute I was colouring the wrong bit, but I'm not. I'm colouring the right bit. Okay, so that is the leaves all done. Do nicely. And I'm actually going to put, I might put a little bit, and I'm just going to do dark in the middle, I think. Hopefully that will be dark enough for it to show up nicely. There we go. So that will do. I'm happy with that. So what I'm now going to do is die cut my cake and die cut my flowers. And if I can find my dies, here they are. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that. I won't cut them on screen because it just means move everything around. So what I'm going to do is die cut this first, which will give me the cake and the shape, and then I'm going to die cut these flowers like so. So it's really easy to line those up, and then I'm going to pop those onto the top. So bear with me while I just do those two through my big shot. You can carry on talking, chatting to each other if you wish. There we go. Try not to knock everything off as I put it through. There we go. So there we have the cake element. And I've just put the die down for the other one. And now I can't see it. There. Sorry everybody. Right, just cutting out the flowers, and then I put that together. Right, sorry to keep you. So there we go, those are the flowers that I've done there. Slightly off, but it will be close enough for our purposes today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build my panel up just on this straight card front. So I'm going to pop that onto there, and then my flowers are going to be on top. So the first thing I'm going to do is just put a little bit of background on here, just so it's not quite as plain. I could put it through an embossing folder, that would look really nice, but I'm just going to do a plain background. I am going to stamp happy birthday as well, so let me do the happy birthday first. It's suddenly poured with rain here, so that puts the kibosh on doing my lawn this afternoon, which was my plan. Okay, so I've got happy birthday going on there. I'm just stamping that in Memento Black because it's to hand. It's just a lovely happy birthday style. I really like that. And then I'm just going to do a little bit of background with two stamps. This one is from the birthday set itself, which has got these little dots. And then I'm using, not that you can see it, this one from the Artisan Texture stamps. Just want a little bit of texture in the background. And I'm going to use Pool Party so that I've got tone on tone stamps. So I'm literally just going to ink that up. I'm going to put a piece of paper behind there so I don't get it all over my work surface. If you're still there, Scott, how are the girls doing? I hope they're okay. So I'm just going to add a little bit of background. Like so. And then a little bit of the dots, just to give it a little bit of texture. You could also stamp happy birthday all the way over the back. That was the sample that they actually had on one of our publications. Hi Helen, lovely to see you, thank you for joining us. So really only a background, I'm not worrying too much about it. There we go. Okay, that will do just for my background. So what I'm now going to do is assemble my cake and my flowers. So the first thing I need to do is cut off this bottom piece here, because I'm just going to have the cake sitting on that silver piece. So I can literally just snip that bit off. Like so. I am going to trim that little bit as well. There we go. So that's going to sit onto there like that, and I'm going to pop this up with dimensionals shortly. And then I've got my flowers here, But what I'm going to do is add in some of those silver elements that I pre-cut. So I've got leaves and I've got those little buds. I have also got these. These are really sweet. So these ones here, oh hi Linda, have got embossing in as well, if you can see that. So I'm not quite sure which ones I'm going to add in. I'm going to see as we go along. So the first thing I'm going to do is put my base cake down, and then I'm going to arrange around it, and I'm going to use dimensionals for that. I want the whole thing up, so I'm basically replicating this sort of thing slightly differently, because that's the nice thing about handmade, is they all come out differently. There we go. So I'm just going to peel these off. So the sun's nearly out after that rain. Very strange. Okay. Just want to leave enough space for my cake stand. So it's going to hop onto there. Yep, happy with that. So for my cake stand, I'm going to use the small dimensionals, our mini ones. So you can buy our dimensionals in large and small. And I'm just going to put one there, one there, and then I've just got some offcuts here that I'm going to put along there. Yeah, we've got rain, Joe. Joe lives literally a quarter of a mile down the road from me, out in the countryside. So yes, a sudden shower and now it's stopped. So I'm just going to pop that across the back, peel the backing off. Let's make sure that's all done nicely. I could put some on the end, but for my purposes I'm happy with that as it is. So I'm just going to put that on there, just overlay it very slightly so the cake looks like it's sort of sitting in there, if you can see that. Okay, so now I'm just going to arrange the flowers and the extra bits. I think I'm going to stick with the whole silver look. So what I'm going to do is put the flowers on and then tuck the leaves and things in the middle. So what I've done is put the dimensional sort of fairly centrally, and then I can tuck the bits of flower and foliage in. There we go. So I'm going to pop that on there like that. A little bit off centre, but it will be okay. And then I'm just going to tuck some of these in, just to bring in the silver element. I'm just going to use some glue on the back of that. So am I going to use the leaves as well? What do you think? Leaves? Or a bit of green leaf. I think I'm going to stick with the silver. See if I've got another leaf. I do like these embossed leaves, they're really cute. So I might do that. Get rid of that hair. And maybe just add some of those in. What I might do is trim these down because I don't want them too big. So I'm going to trim the end of that off and then tuck that in like that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So I'm just going to use some wet glue. So our Tombow. And then I'm just going to take them one out at a time and just put a little bit of glue on the back. I don't know if you can see that or not. A tiny bit on there, like so. Now I have to remember where I had it. I think it was there, wasn't it? Oh, hi Brenda. Nice to see you again this afternoon. So I've got that one there. So this one is going to go between those two layers of flowers. So again, just a little bit of wet glue on the back. I really do like these dies. They really do bring this set to life. It was a nice set anyway, I have to say. But I think these just set it off really nicely. That one there. And then a little bit of glue on the back. Sorry if that's just out of your view. I have to bring it close enough to me that I can see it. There we go. Yeah, just going to move that down, cover up that little bit of excess glue. I will wipe it off afterwards, but get my finger off it. There we go. So there we have it. So I hope you can see that. There's my finished card. So let me show you the other one. Just pop the top on my glue and cover up my ink pad. So there's a finished card. Oh, you like it on the blue? Oh, that's good. I wasn't quite sure. I'm quite glad I had pink flowers, otherwise I think it would have been too blue, really. Thank you, Helen. So that's the difference between that one, which was the original one we made at Coffee and Card, and using the dies to cut out the cake and add the foliage. So the stamp set is called Happy Birthday to You, and that is free in Sale-A-Bration if you order £45 worth of product, and that ends tomorrow evening, 31st of March. And the die set is called Birthday Dies, and that is £25. I am going to show you something else with the dies, just to show you that you can use the flowers on their own. I'll leave those there hopefully so you can see them. So what I've done is I've just prepared, or I won't say I prepared because I've got one from my stash, a card base which is a 4 inches by 4 inches. Yes, it's nice in glitter, isn't it, Helen? Even the detail comes out. I've got a white layer here, and then what I've done is stamped and die cut out the flowers to show you that you can literally use those now on their own. What I am going to do is just take the snips and cut through that sort of connecting piece, like so that I've got separate pieces which are a bit easier to then place. I'm going to do the same with this one here, and I might use some of those green leaves. So obviously you could make these into quite different flowers using different colours. You can make them look quite poppy-like if you use reds, couldn't you, I think? Oh, hi Lynn, nice to see you. Lynn is my hairdresser. So what I'm going to do is arrange those around there. So I'm going to stamp a sentiment in the middle, and as I have Happy Birthday to hand, that is what I'm going to stamp, I think. Might as well make the most of that. I'm missing you, Lynn. I can't wait to see you again. But you're going to be so busy when everything gets back to normal, I'm sure. So I'm just going to pop that down on my grid paper. I'm going to stamp my happy birthday at an angle, because what I'm going to do then is arrange my flowers around it. Oops, get those out of the way. So just press it down. I've done it in black. Again, really only because it was to hand, to be honest. And then what I'm going to do is arrange some of these and some of the leaves on here. So I'm just going to have a little play with the layers. And what I'm going to do is have some of them come off the side, and I might either trim them down or leave them. So I'm thinking something like that. Don't know if that's too much. And then add some flowers in, or possibly I might layer that up. Yeah, that might be better. Okay, so let me just tidy that bit where I've cut the connecting bit off, like so. So let's pop that one in the corner. So I'm going to do some flat and then some with some dimension. And what I'm thinking is to leave that sticking out over the edge, so that when I put it on the card you can see that edge. Let's give that a go. So I'm going to leave these ones together, like so. Yes, thanks. I think with the dimensionals it will look better. Like that. And then maybe, don't want to overdo it. Let's put one there on dimensionals. So I'm going to use the larger ones for that. And I might see if I can just tuck in some leaves, maybe. Bearing in mind it's going to go onto a green card. Can you see I can't decide? There we go. So what I might do is do that into two and use that one again on its own. So I might put that one up on dimensionals, and then maybe that other little one on its own. Let's see how that comes out. Oh, thank you, Lynn. Did I say dimensionals up on there? And then I'll do that one coming in there. Yeah, let me just trim that a little bit down. At the top, like that, Helen. Do you think? I feel like it then needs another layer here. Maybe I could add that little bit on. I'm not normally quite this indecisive. Let's see what it looks like with a bit of greenery, because that might just be all I need to balance it out a little bit. So these are the leaves from the same dies. Yeah, so I could use those to cover in any gaps. So I've got a gap here. That looks better, doesn't it? Oh, hi Sarah. Nice to see you. Yes, so I'm going to pop that one on there with some dimension behind it, like that. So. Oh, Harry wants to make some Easter cards. Oh well, we can sort him out with an Easter card kit. No problem at all. And I think, I don't know, not quite sure now. Let's put a few more of these in, and then I don't want to overcook it, as they say. Let's put one in down here. No, it covers up my birthday bit too much, doesn't it? Could do that. Yep, that works. So I've lost track of when Easter actually is. If anybody can remind me. I know it's April. Is it 10th, 12th? Something like that. I'm just going to tack that in there. Like so. And now I need another set of leaves as well. Let's put this one in. There. It's got a hair attached to it. There we go. Oh, hi Julia. Oh, 2 weeks time. Thank you. Is that bank holiday Easter Monday? 2 weeks time, Jill. I'm wondering. There we go. And I do want to put another set of leaves in. So what I might do is just have them in there, and then I'm going to trim the edge off. What am I? Perhaps I might just put one there. So I'm just going to put one on. So Julia, you'll remember us using the, I think you were there when we did the birthday card one, so I'm just using the dies that we now have available to go with that stamp set. So just going to pop that there, and then going to trim that little edge off. There we go. Let's see what it looks like on the card. Oh, thank you, Jill, because I've lost all track really. There we go. I might put a little bit of bling just to balance that corner. So I feel it needs something just here, but maybe the bling will do the job. So you trim that little stalk off from there. So happy with that. Now I know the envelopes for these cards are slightly bigger than the cards, so I'm quite happy with it sticking out over the edge of the card. If you weren't happy to do that, you could just trim those off, or just make sure that you didn't go too far over the edges. Like so. There we go. And let's pop some bling. Let's see what I've got that would work with that. I'm thinking these gold ones might do the trick. Let me get these out. Let's have a look, see. There we go. So So these are our gold and silver gems. So I'm going to put one there, one there, and when I can get this one up, one there. I just want to balance out that left hand side. There we go. So there's my happy birthday card, and I've got some bits left over. So what I'm going to do is put one of these on the inside, like so, just to finish it off. So just a little bit of glue on the back, and then pop it on. Like so. There we go. Okay, so that's the outside. That's the rather busy birthday card. Let's see whether I might use that little bit on there. I don't know. I might add it in a minute just to lift it up a little bit. So there's my birthday card with just flowers on. And then this is the birthday card with the whole birthday cake and flowers on. So if you can see those. And what I might well do is add some Wink of Stella, so our glitter pen, to make all of those flowers shine. And the same potentially on here.